All right, it says we are live. G23, you should have a link, man. I know. So check your email. But where was I? Oh yeah, we are live. No, we're not. I lost the chamber. There it is. Nope, that ain't it. There it is. Okay, welcome to the comedy hour of me forgetting what tab is what. But tonight we have with us first Mr. Budget Guns and Gear. How are you tonight, sir?
Wonderful, splendid. Just there aren't enough superlatives to describe how I am tonight.
Is that just because it's your day off?
Yes, that's exactly right. I don't. I'm not at work right now. Woo!
That's always a good thing, especially when you got to put up with the little brats that are incarcerated. That's got to be a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah.
Next, we have Stacy, otherwise known as Mystic Guns, that joined us. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. And then next, we have all the way from Nebraska, Mr. Travis P11. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing all right, man. I'm glad I can finally make it for one of these shows, and thank you for the invite, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Well, if anything good came from coronavirus, it's you were able to make the show for once.
There you go. Exactly. I mean, that's my loss is your gain. So, yeah.
Yeah. I always look on for the silver lining, right?
You know it.
Wouldn't that be two losses that you were facing there, Travis? Sorry.
What's that?
Rich. Well, you got to be on Rich's show and the coronavirus. So, I mean.
Oh, I know. Nah, this is hardly twisting my arm, dude.
All right. And last but not least, so far, we have David Bowling, the kingpin himself. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Rich. Thanks for having me. I'm glad we got the all-star panel. Look at that. We got Budget, Mystic, and Travis P11. That's we're stepping up in the world here.
4-star rating, man.
Yeah. So
I call foul on that. I automatically lower the property values.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised he added my name to the list.
I'm just surprised Snob isn't interrupting and joining you from behind, trying to steal your link from being behind you and talking over you.
He's in the office.
Oh. He's in the office and he can't even use his link. I see how he is.
I think he's working on videos. I don't know.
That's always his excuse. He's out there playing Fortnite.
He doesn't have Fortnite out there.
That you know of.
He's probably on one of those other, websites.
Uh-huh.
Talking to his girlfriend.
He's over there on the Tinder.
Probably.
Just so it's not Grinder.
So that's what he calls me, huh? Oh, I'm so disappointed.
I don't think he does Tinder. I think he does the farmersonly.com.
All right. Hey, you guys want to get into a topic? Let's do a topic.
Let's do
Something
it.
unusual for this show. We're going to do a topic. So, with everybody being stuck in because of the virus that will not be named, it's the Voldemort of illnesses. We are going to discuss TV shows or movies that could be watched on, say, streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, those kind of things. So we're going to do a short discussion on that kind of stuff because, people need something to do, right? I mean, you can't all be bedroom time, right? With the significant other while you get ready for the next baby boom. So we'll start with budget. What movie or TV show would you suggest for people who are stuck indoors and aren't allowed to go outside?
I've actually been watching two. One has a bunch of seasons. One only has 6 episodes so far. The first one, Sopranos. I used to watch that back in the day, and I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed it. So I have HBO Go, and I've finally been using it, and I've been catching up on The Sopranos, and I'd forgotten how much I really love that show. That's just awesome. The second is a Netflix show that is, I can only assume it originally aired in Norway because it's dubbed into English. It's called Ragnarok. if you're into Norse mythology, cool show to watch. A young kid and his family moved back to a town they left a while ago, and he discovers that things aren't quite what they seem in the town. So, yeah. Nor are things quite what they seem with him. So, and that's all I'll go into it in case you decide you want to watch it. It's really cool. Highly recommend. It's only like 6 episodes, but it's well worth spending the time watching it. If you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds interesting. So it's kind of like Norse meets Stranger Things kind of situation.
Kind of. Yes.
All right. And what about you, Stacy? What would you have on your recommended list?
I don't know. I watch a bunch of stuff. I mean, I watch Netflix all the time, but my shows tend to be, stuff other people wouldn't want to watch. But I've heard a lot of things before about Stranger Things, so I've actually started that one. I'm on the 3rd season of it.
That show was great.
Yeah, I'm like on the last episode of season 3, I think. And stuff. But other than that, I mean, a lot of them I've watched so many of them so far. Like I watched Supernatural and Haven. Because I like a lot of supernatural movies too, sci-fi. But I'm like trying to go through there now. Like The Ranch, I've already finished. So it's either find something on there, something else I like, or rewatch something I've already watched.
Yeah, Haven was a good one. I still haven't gotten around to watch that last season, but that was a decent show. Underrated. I mean, people didn't get the audience that it showed up. That show was actually pretty darn good.
Which one?
Haven.
Yeah, it was. That was one that I found when I was working, and we would have a lot of downtime in between apartments. And I just seen it. And I'm like, oh, I'll try that out. And it was really good. And I finished it. I actually went back and watched it again. And I told my mom about it. My mom finished it in like a week. Another one I found on there was Shield Agents or Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
I ended up watching all that.
Yeah, that one is interesting, especially the first couple seasons, because it fills in the gaps between the Marvel movies. So those actually, what happens in the movies affects what happens on the series. So that was an interesting aspect. It's not very often you come across a television series where there's a movie chain that's happening at the same time, where the TV series actually is part of the movie franchise.
Yeah.
And once in a while, they drop in some characters that had actually been in some of the Avengers flicks. Like, just it was rare, but they did that. And a lot of the villains, you had some old school villains and stuff that'd be in there too. So yeah. Shield's awesome.
All right. What about you, Travis? What would be on your recommended list?
I'm gonna copy Mystic a lot. My wife and I are huge fans of Supernatural. She's seen more episodes than I have, but I've seen the bulk of them. Also, we just finished watching The Ranch last night. We finally got through the last season 8 or part 8, whatever they called it. So The Ranch is awesome. If you've never seen that before, it's weird because we're talking about a sitcom that's R-rated, that's filmed in front of a live audience, and they actually drink and chew and everything during the show while they're filming it. So it makes for a pretty rad. And if you live in the heartland, or you live in like kind of the western state, Colorado, Wyoming, if you know anybody that's a cattle farmer or rancher, you just automatically identify with the humor. And then kind of on the opposite spectrum, I love watching 80s TV series like Chips, Knight Rider, The V. I can go back and watch those anytime. They're just fun, especially now if you've got kids that are into like Stranger Things and like 80s and 90s stuff is cool with them. Go back and watch some of those series because they're just kind of fun to watch for like the hairstyles and the clothes and kind of how cheesy some of the action scenes were. So that's what I go for, man.
Yeah, a lot of those 80s shows are good.
I grew up watching MacGyver too.
Yeah, we've been watching on Saturdays. We've been watching Greatest American Hero, then MacGyver on channel H&I. If you get that on your cable system, or if you have one of those digital antennas, it's one of those sub channels on the digital antenna. But Comcast carries it on their cable network. So we've been watching a lot of like Greatest American Hero, and then MacGyver. Which
Did you ever
can't
get to
go
the end of
wrong.
MacGyver? Did you watch the last episode of it?
Yeah, I've watched last. I watched
Okay.
the last episode when it aired.
Yeah, on USA. Yeah.
When it aired the first run.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I watched MacGyver when I was a kid. So.
Mm-hmm.
But
Speaking of the gun snob, he's in the chat now.
yeah.
Oh.
My wife. I don't know where my wife was at in the early '80s, but she did not realize that the theme song to The Greatest American Hero was a hit song back in the '81.
Oh God, yeah, I remember hearing it on the radio, man.
Yeah, that went to number 2. That was right behind "Endless Love" by Lionel Richie and damn it, one from the Supremes, Diana Ross. That was what kept it. That's what kept the theme to The Greatest American Hero from going to number 1 was "Endless Love" by Lionel Richie and Diana Ross. So that was before your time, Pickle.
He was just a gherkin back then. That show was on TV.
I don't even know what show you're talking about. I literally just turned my phone back on.
You guys were talking about the kind of the older action style series and whatnot, and Richard Dean Anderson, Stargate SG-1. Who watched that? Man, that's another good one to catch. I can't remember who has that now, if it's Netflix or Amazon or who, but if you can find that, watch it, man. Awesome. Matter of fact, all the Stargate series, because there were a couple spinoffs, I thought they were all great.
All right, let's
SG-1 was a lot of fun.
Let's give Pickle a chance to say hello before we move on to Kingpin. How you like, Pickle?
I'm doing all right. A nice warm 70-degree day here in Sacramento. Got some work done around the house that I needed to do, and now I'm having a beer and chatting with you guys.
Sounds good. What we're doing right now is we're doing recommendations for TV shows or movies that people can watch on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, whatever streaming service while they're stuck indoors. So, while Kingpin gives us his recommendations, think about what you would put on your list. And Kingpin, what you got for us?
Well, the top of any list when it comes to entertainment for me is going to be Hogan's Heroes. You can watch that front and back, watch the episodes over and over again. It's always great. There's obviously The Wire, Baltimore. If you're interested in that kind of entertainment, it's a violent show, but it's pretty entertaining. And then there's a series that I used to like. It's called The Tudors. I don't know if it's a HBO or a Showtime, but it was about King Henry VIII, and that was a pretty good series. And then there's always, Budget Guns and Gears catalog, Travis P11's catalog. You could spend plenty of quality time watching those older videos.
Oh yeah, I got 4 seasons, man. Yeah, I'm going on season 5 right now.
I wouldn't exactly call mine quality, but especially the older stuff. Oh my goodness. But thanks.
All right. And have you had enough time to think about things, Pickle, or you need more time?
I'm good. Yeah, that's where if you want some of the older stuff, of course, Hogan's Heroes, I agree with that one. MASH is another one. I always liked the Rifleman. Newer stuff would be the NCIS, the original, not the spinoffs. And those ones there should keep you busy for a while.
All right. Now, I'm surprised nobody's mentioned a movie yet, so I will start with a movie for my list, especially if you like horror films. Amazon Prime just got this one. It's called Dog Soldiers. It's where British soldiers get dumped in the Scottish Highlands and don't realize they're being observed by the SAS. And at the same time, the SAS is keep an eye on those guys. They're also being hunted by werewolves. So it's an interesting twist on a werewolf movie. It stars the one guy from Rome, the one that played the Praetorian, if you've watched Rome when that was on HBO. And it had the guy that was Alfred on Gotham. He's in it. The guy that played Voldemort's dad was in it. So I mean, it's got some good actors in it, and it's a really good werewolf movie. If you're into that genre, you might want to check that out. Another one it's on it. Supposed to be on
Well,
Amazon.
so that's where the werewolf genre. I'd almost call that one more of it's almost more of a military movie that happens to have a supernatural twist to it. It's not even necessarily a werewolf film, in a lot of ways.
It's a werewolf movie. Trust me, it's a werewolf movie.
Oh, I've
first,
seen it.
military movie second. But there's a lot of dark humor stuff in it too. So it's got the horror plus there's a lot of dark humor in there. So if you like into dark humor too, you might also like it. But yeah, it's definitely a werewolf movie for sure. What else? What did I say? Next one, it's kind of like in the same theme that Budget was talking about with Ragnarok. It's called The Almighty Johnsons. It's a show from New Zealand where this 20-something kid wakes up one day and it's his birthday and finds out that his whole family and some other people are actually the Norse gods. And when you turn 20, you go through a ceremony where the god that you are wakes up, and he finds out he is Odin. It's a really interesting series. It's an interesting twist on Norse mythology about where the Norse gods went when they fell from power and everything. So, if you get a chance to check that show out, it's not kid friendly. Keep that in mind. At least in the United States, it's not considered kid friendly because there's some sex scenes and nudity and whatnot in it. So if you have kids, you might not want to let
So
them
that's
watch
on
it.
Amazon Prime?
Yeah, it's supposed to be on Amazon. It was on Amazon Prime. I don't know if it still is or not, but when I did a quick search on Google, it says that it is still on Prime. So if you want to check that one out, it had 1 or 2 seasons to it. It wasn't a long show. It does come to a conclusion at the end. So, that whole show plays out to where, but that one was pretty good. One that's on Netflix that I got into was The Witcher, based on the video game series. If you played any of those video games,
Oh yeah, I do love that series, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, The Witcher was really good. It stars the guy that plays Superman in the DC movies now as a character, and
I just checked Amazon Prime. It says that it's not available. Video is currently unavailable.
that sucks because that show was actually pretty good. I
I
started
was going to watch it.
Yeah, I started watching it when Sci-Fi had it because they ran it for a couple months. They ran the first season, and then they stopped showing it. Then I caught the second season on Amazon Prime. That was a really good show. So if you can find it, I recommend that one highly. The Almighty Johnsons. It's really good. What's something else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys haven't mentioned. Well, Stranger Things. If you haven't seen Stranger Things, check that one out for sure. Especially for into nostalgic 80s stuff because it takes place in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of references to that time period, video game wise and stuff. It's really cool. So that's some things that you can check out. Anybody got any other things that they want to throw in real quick?
Well, you can always go back and bust off some of the Blu-rays and stuff. You might have Band of Brothers sitting around.
Yeah, that would be good.
Trying to think of something that's got a lot of episodes that you just kind of you go back to because I haven't seen that for probably close to 10 years now.
Yeah, if you do have kids, but say you got 10 to 13-year-old kid, bust out Robotech for them.
Oh God, yes.
I don't know if Netflix still has it on there, but they did, so you can watch that on there.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say my kids didn't get to see the Infinite Invasion angle of that until later on because Cartoon Network wouldn't show up because they said it was too violent for Cartoon Network. But this is the same time period when they were showing Cowboy Bebop on the Cartoon Network, so figure that one out. But yeah, and that's another one. If you can find it, Cowboy Bebop is a great anime.
With Robotech, if you go to YouTube, there's some channels that have every episode of Macross or Robotech, the series that we watched here in the U.S. on them, so you can go back and watch them again.
Even if you can find the English dubs of the original source material, they're all good too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, another anime series that more recent one, I don't know if you've seen this one or not, was One Punch Man. That show was hilarious. It's a superhero kind of thing where heroes have to go to school when they get classified what hero they are. But because the main character wouldn't ever say what powers he had, he was ranked as being the lowest lowest rating superhero. He ends up being the one that saves the world at the end of season 1 because he had the most powerful power out of all of them. So that was kind of so it's and the one character keeps bugging him to train him, so he starts training him, and he had this really silly regiment that he would go through with exercises. Like he would do push-ups, sit-ups, and eat a banana a day, and that's how he got his superpowers. He would do like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and then eat a banana, and that's how he said he got his superpower. But, yeah, that was a good one. There's a lot of different things. MASH was brought up. Hogan's Heroes was brought up. Well, Greatest American Hero, if you can find that, that's a good show. Just sad that it didn't get more seasons than what it did. I think they were wearing, 3 or 4 seasons? That was a good one. For sure.
Speaking of shows, I got to bounce. I was just informed that The Walking Dead's about to come on, and I got to go watch it with the wife. So I'll talk to y'all later.
Oh.
All right.
See you, Budget.
See ya.
Take care, man. Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay. So, anybody else have any other movies or TV shows? I mean, you guys haven't much mentioned movies. What would be a good movie that you guys would recommend?
Gary just filled up everybody in this chat's time plus everybody else in the country. He says, if you really want to kill some time, start up a Nut and Fancy marathon.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You'll never run out of material there.
No.
I got a quick question. I mean, you can kind of go like rapid fire through the panel, but what is it about Walking Dead that you like?
I've never watched it.
I guess part of it, when it first came out, there were quite a few like zombie video games that were out there that you could play that kind of brought you into that world. And there's that prepper aspect of it that a lot of us kind of associate with the whole guns part of it. Lots of suspense, lots of things happening, a lot of episodes. But for me, yeah, there was a couple seasons where it just you could have skipped them and not really missed anything and just kind of looked up who didn't make it, And then I pretty much, after they got to the part where the main character, Rick Grimes, supposedly got killed at the end of the episode, that was it for me. That's what did it for me. I thought, oh man, this is the way to end it. And then it turns out they're going to do another season and he's still alive. That totally killed me as a fan after that. But a lot of people said, well, there's stuff that they hadn't shown yet that was in the comic books, and there were characters they hadn't shown and mentioned yet. But David, answer your question. I think a lot of it just kind of has to do with that survival aspect of it. How do you get by and scavenge for ammo and try to defend yourself from the humans that are just as dangerous as the zombies?
All right, cool. I can appreciate that.
I watched most of season 1. I think I started season 2, and I haven't seen it since. So I can't really put in a whole lot as to what or why. I just got flat out bored with it.
I'd say that the first 3 seasons were pretty solid. Then everybody starts to complain at 4, which I can't remember if that was the prison or the farm. They find a farm out in the middle of nowhere, and they live there, and they kind of get by, doing farm stuff. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to watch it, it'd be nothing wrong with watching the first couple seasons because it was really well done. And then it just there were episodes where they could have done the whole episode in like in 30 minutes instead of stretching it out over 3 episodes, So that's part of it that kind of pushed me away from. And then we watched some of the Fear of the Walking Dead, the newer series, and that was just to get more of a Walking Dead fix. What's up?
You got your camera on, G.
There we go. But otherwise, David, yeah, if you want to go back and start watching the first couple seasons, it's well done. So yeah.
Well put, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going back to the chat, and Snob actually brought up something, a good one that we missed. Lonesome Dove. So you can find that on demand if you look. I believe one of the demand services had that, on cable and whatnot. And then if you can get that on DVD or Blu-ray. So I mean, yeah, that would be a good one that you could pop in and watch too.
I hate to give Snob credit for things, but that is a good show. Or miniseries, technically.
Mm-hmm. So now we've been joined by G23, as Kingpin pointed out when he had his camera on. But you've been out there in the chat, so I'm sure you know what the topic is. You got any recommendations?
TV shows.
TV shows or movies?
If you're into like historical, kind of factual stuff, the History Channel had Hunting Hitler. That was really good, and I believe that's still going on. If you like foreign shows that have subtitles, La Esclava Blanca is a really good one. The Wife's Yelling Expedition Unknown, if you guys couldn't hear that on the cam.
Yeah, that was a good one with Josh Gates.
Oh, yeah.
And the one he had, Destination Truth, which used to be on the Sci-Fi Channel, which was kind of like the precursor to Destination Unknown. Or, you know what I mean, Expedition Unknown.
Yeah.
I always get the titles mixed up because he was on both, and they were basically almost the same show.
Another one the wife likes is Ancient Aliens.
A lot of the History Channel series and stuff like that.
Yeah, educational. Definitely got to go educational. Travel Channel.
Yeah. And while you're
I was sucked in a couple seasons of Ice Road Truckers, man.
Another good one in that vein is the Curse of Oak Island. I don't know if you've seen that one where they're going over the Oak Island thing looking for the buried treasure that's supposed to be there. And they actually found some clues that there actually might be something there. And they would go over the history of it too, and some of the people that helped invest in there. It's an interesting list of names, topped off by Franklin Delano Roosevelt and John Wayne. So
Yeah, the wife was watching that for a while.
Now, for newer movies, I was watching Ben Shapiro. He did an interview with the director of The Hunt. Have you guys seen that yet?
No.
That's the one. Okay, everybody got all freaked out about it because they thought the movie was specifically supposed to be the liberals hunt down the conservatives in like an open area. They're saying it's like a remake of the movie The Most Dangerous Game or whatever it was called. But it's supposedly what's that?
Was it Surviving the Game with Ice-T?
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what he had said. Or I thought he said The Most Dangerous Game, but I don't know.
It's probably Surviving the Game that was filmed in the state of Washington out of like Wenatchee, Kashmir, Leavenworth, some parts of Seattle.
Okay. Yeah, it's supposed to be, and I don't know if it's just straight on streaming now, because I don't think it's going to be in the theaters with the situation and stuff, but they said that you should watch it because it shows the kind of the stereotypes of the liberal left and the conservative right. So it's not, it wasn't intended to be go hunt down the Trump followers and kill them. That's how everybody interpreted from like the way that it was originally promoted, the way people saw it. But then when you actually see the movie, it's actually the director that did it. He's the guy that did Paranormal Activity and ton of other movies, and now I want to see it, so I might check that out this week.
So
yeah, that's on pay-per-view, like if you have cable.
Okay, yeah.
Has it. And Amazon has it on Amazon where you can rent it on there. They're doing that as part of the thing where people can't go to theaters to see movies, so they're throwing like 3 or 4 movies on their services that are still in theaters yet, and that's one of them. Another one's that new Disney cartoon. Then there was Emma, which I think is based on the old novel. And then there was another one, I remember, The Invisible Man. The new version of The Invisible Man was the other one. So
Amazon also has 1917, which is really cool.
Do they?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I didn't see that when I was just over there. So okay.
I think they might. Maybe they just pushed it out this week, or maybe even just today.
A couple days ago.
Yeah. So I think you're going to see a lot of movies. Yeah, like we said before, we mentioned this on Matt's chat, NEAs. I think a lot of movies are going to just do that direct to streaming route where they charge the $20 and then you get to see the new movie that's being premiered because Hollywood's going to have to do it because otherwise they're going to quit making movies. They're not going to have money rolling in. So I mean, they're going to just hit that $20, view it as many times as you want in 24 hours or view it once in 24 hours kind of market so that families can sit around and watch movies because they're going to be losing money hand over fist if they don't. So I think it's going to, at least for the next couple months, it's going to modify things,
Yeah, Amazon's calling it in-theater movies at home.
Okay, yeah, that's what they're doing with The Hunt. They're charging $20, which if my wife and I were to go see it, it would cost us more than that because you'd have the $20 and the food and the snacks and all that crap. So, maybe I'd be willing to watch it just for something kind of fun.
Sounds like good timing. That's right. I just upgraded, to a new to me larger TV and surround system. So sweet.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, so did we. We just got a 43-inch 4K TV from Best Buy. It was one of the open box ones that they had on display, and we paid $222 for it.
That's where California Bell's grandparents just got a new 50-inch, so they gave us their old 42 and the surround sound system that they had with it. So it's a couple years old, but hey, it's new to us. I'm cool with it.
Well, if you want, you can always go to Costco and for $7.95, pick up a Samsung 75-inch 4K UHD or something.
Yeah, we got an LG, and it has Disney Plus on built into it and a bunch of other stuff. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my house isn't big enough for a 75-inch TV. Good gracious.
Just put it on the wall, man. Just put it on the wall.
Pickle, that's not even the biggest TV they have. Have you seen that? Anything the stuff that came out of not E3? What was the Consumer Electronics Show CES? They have a 8K TV that when you buy it, it comes in sections because how big the TV is.
Oh my god.
It's like 80 inches.
Costco has a 80, 85 or 88-inch TV, and they're talking about here in the next couple of months they'll have a 95-inch TV in their stores.
Yeah, that's still
unless you've got a.
Have you seen the Porsche TV that you put out in your yard and it retracts into the ground? That thing is like 150 inches. It's like having a drive-in theater screen in your backyard.
You have to have like a foundation poured for it to keep it dry when it's underground.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my God.
with
That's
all
insane.
these TVs and the bigger and bigger, is it feeling like a Fahrenheit? Is it feeling like Fahrenheit 451 to anybody else?
How so?
The giant TV that that was an entire wall that was used
No,
to distract
yeah.
the public from what was really going on, and it doesn't feel like that to anybody else.
Well, they've had things like that in other movies and TV and books and stuff. So,
Yeah, it's kind of getting to that point though, because you had the whole controversy with what was it, one of the companies was recording where you were going or listening to what you were doing through your TV or something. I don't remember what that was. There was
with these smart TVs and some of them having the VoIP apps in them now, more like Star Trek having the view screen.
TVs are generational anyway, because you think that the 15-year-old right now cares about your 80-inch television when they got a 7-inch telephone screen?
well, they'll watch movies with their friends, but yeah, the majority of the time they're just on their phones, watching everything, consuming all their media.
Can you imagine how hard it would be to play a video game on an 80-inch TV screen?
Well, that's all they do with that is they do the gaming and stuff. But yeah,
I mean, I don't know if I could pay attention to everything that was going on an 80-inch screen in my home playing like PlayStation 4 or something. I don't know.
It'd be fun to try.
yeah.
It'll
See,
be
when somebody gets
interesting,
one
that's
and
for
they don't
sure.
want it, give me a call. I'll take care of it for you. So
When the character on the TV screen is bigger than you are,
Mario's 6.5
That's
feet
right.
tall.
It's like I don't know if my Super Nintendo and Super Mario Brothers can really take advantage of that screen.
Oh yeah, mine has ports where you can easily hook a Super Nintendo up to it. My
Well, we
43
have that projector that goes off a 120-inch screen. I played Xbox on it all the time.
Well, now you got those nice 4K ones, and you can get some really good screens, and yeah, much high quality.
4K
Yeah, sure. Mine's not like an Xbox that I'm playing the old game on. Mine is actually the original Super Nintendo.
Well, the thing is, that 120-inch projector still is not as big as that Porsche TV that goes into the ground.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that thing costs $1 million. It's a whole sound system and TV.
Oh my god.
4K is so last year, so 2019. I mean, we got 8K out there. 8K.
Can your eyes even really notice the difference in the resolution? Isn't it getting to a point where it's already surpassed what the human eye can detect? Like the color processing is going to get better. The pixels are going to get better. I get that part of it, but the actual resolution, it's going to get to a point where you're not even going to notice it. Your eyes are going to downgrade the image because you can't see beyond a certain level.
And here's the other thing: nothing is broadcast or recorded in 8K yet.
No,
They're bringing out TVs, and there's no media for it.
There's hardly anything broadcast in 4K.
Yeah. And anything you're going to watch on that 8K TV for it to be in 8K is going to be artificially rendered in 8K, where you can end up with graphic anomalies and stuff because they're up tuning it like they do with 4K and whatnot. In 4K, it's not as graphic intense, so you're not going to see it. But 8K is double 4K, so you're looking at 4,000 or something resolution. 8K is like 2,000 and something, 2,200 and something, if I remember right. You know, you go back to 1080p, that's 1920 by 1080. So think about upscaling 1080p to 4K and then having to upscale from 4K to 8K. There's bound to be some kind of artifacts or something that are going to be in that isn't supposed to be there. You know, like bad pixelization and stuff.
Well, a lot of your 4K consumption is happening with video games because you can, when you get your new video games like on like your Xbox One X or your PS4 Pro, you do get the 4K resolution. It does look absolutely amazing. You know, it is awesome. Takes up a ton of space on your console, but still, yeah.
I'm looking at a 55-inch 4K TV right now, and you know, it doesn't really, you know, seem much different than when I had just the regular high def before, you know, when high def TVs came out and those were the new thing.
I don't know. There's certain things when you put it on a 4K TV from your standard 1080p, there's a difference.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you go down to some of the you know, lower quality, but like my TV automatically adjusts. So if something is broadcast in like 480 or, you know, like 1080 or 720, my TV will automatically adjust down to that so that you're not seeing, you know, that pixelation and everything.
I'm looking up right now. Can we see past 8K? It's actually on a LASIK website.
I really don't get why they're even bringing out these TVs yet. There is no media. There's no video games. There's not a video card that can handle that if it was a monitor. I mean, it's like, why are they doing that? Like
To compete with Europe. If you look at some of the broadcasts,
go ahead.
If you look at some of like the German broadcasts and, you know, some of the UK broadcasts and stuff, they're in a higher definition than what we have over here in the United States. I mean, they've been broadcasting and stuff, and it's just like we're just now getting 5G. Well, 5G has been over in Europe for 4 years now.
Well, 5G is not all it's cracked up to be either. So,
I have to imagine how much of this 8K and all this kind of stuff is more advertised than anything else. I mean, yeah, they may have found ways to improve the quality, but like Travis was asking about, can the human eye even really distinguish it at that point? Or is it more just have we reached a point where it's just advertising?
Yeah, I got in an argument on one of the tech channels with somebody in the comment section about if it's worth making a 4K screen for a 17-inch gaming laptop, and I'm of the opinion that no, it's not, because on that screen size, you're really not going to be able to physically tell a difference. Your eye is not going to pick it up. It's a big difference when you go from like a 17-inch screen to a 24-inch screen, or a 27-inch screen, or when you get into TVs where you have 43, 55-inch, where 4K. Yeah, you might notice a difference. On the 17-inch screen, you're looking at diminished returns. It's not worth it for the companies to invest in having a 4K screen at that size for a gaming laptop, when there is other things that could be put into that laptop, which would take up the money that would be needed to have the 4K screen. And a perfect example of this is Alienware. In the last generation of the Alienware laptops, they had a 4K screen option. They did away with it. And keep this in mind, that was with just a laptop processor and a laptop video card. Alienware's top of the line laptop now uses a desktop CPU and a desktop video card. Could easily handle 4K resolutions, right? They did away with the 4K screen on that one as well. They don't have a 4K screen on any of their Alienware laptops anymore. Why? Diminishing returns. It's not worth it. You still see other laptops with a 4K screen that are in that size range or smaller, but there really is no point to it.
Yeah, that's like the laptop I have. It's, mind you, it's probably 4 years old now, but that's where it's got the processor and graphics card and everything else is all desktop stuff, because it was, mind you, it's not the top of the line graphics. It was built to be a mobile workstation, so AutoCAD, MicroStation, SolidWorks, this kind of stuff. It wasn't built for gaming, so I didn't get the highest of the high graphics card, but pretty damn close.
I got a GTX 1070 in my laptop. I actually do have an Alienware. It's a couple generations old, but it still does the job. Doesn't do anywhere near as well as what my daughter's RTX 2070 does, mind you. In that she has on her desktop, she just got a new one. She's got a Ryzen 7 3700X and a RTX 2070. She's got a pretty decent desktop up in her bedroom.
The systems that you guys built yourself, do you guys just do your own, or do you buy them pre-made, or what do you guys do?
I built my daughter's.
Yeah.
No, my son, we bought his. We got a hell of a deal on eBay through one of the manufacturers. He had at the time was one of the top of the line i7s in their 4-core series back then, and then GTX 980 Ti, and we paid under $1,000. So, and it was
how much? 16 gigs of RAM with it, or?
Yeah,
that's a pretty good number. That's what I have in mind.
Yeah, that's where mine. I ordered it, but I spec'd it, so that's where it's got. Balls of fire. It's 32 gigs RAM. It's got a hard drive just for the operating system. Separate one for storage. 8-thread, quad core processor, this kind of stuff, because it was built to be a desktop replacement.
Yeah, that's what my laptop is. I mean, any Alienware laptop is going to be a desktop replacement if it's one of the 17-inch models. Because you can get the 13-inch model, which is the more portable one, or you can get a 15 or a 17. I got a 17, and it's definitely a desktop replacement. You're not carrying this thing around. The thing weighs like 15 pounds. It's not something you want to carry around in a backpack for school or anything like that. Now,
I did it, because of the type of schooling I was going through at the time. I needed to be able to have a a CAD station that I could take back and forth with me.
yeah, this would serve that purpose. You could easily do that on this laptop or the new ones, especially the new Alienware, the Alienware Area 51M. That's the one that has the desktop processor. It comes with you can get up to a i9 9900K in that thing, which is like not Alienware, Intel's top of the line CPU right now, as far as the consumer market is concerned. And you can get a 2080 in it, RTX 2080. And that's not the laptop 2080, that is the desktop 2080. How they managed to pull that off with the cooling solution, I don't know. But yeah. And they're user upgradable. So say you get the Area 51M and you decide that you want to go with the 9700, the i7 9700, but later on you want to upgrade it to the i9 9900K, you can do that. It's user upgradable on the CPU front. That's the first time that a laptop has genuinely been user upgradable on the CPU, because usually the CPUs will be like soldered in or something. So yeah, it's an interesting laptop that Alienware brought out this year. They first showed it at, I believe, E3 last year, and then it's hit the market, I believe, the beginning of this year or the end of last year.
The question for you, the whole processor upgrade part that you're mentioning there, is that because they offer different processors from the factory and it just made it easier for them at the factory to swap out processors, or?
It uses a desktop processor. It's just like swapping it,
Oh, so you just got like a socket, you flip up the arm and it pops
Yeah.
right out, basically. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I got you.
Yeah. It uses the desktop CPU. Now, it also has a desktop video card in there, but it doesn't have the housing around it, like when you would buy your video card. It has standard laptop style video card cooler on it. But otherwise, it's the exact same thing as the desktop GPU that's in it as well. And again, I don't know how they managed the cooling solution where they can put a laptop with a desktop CPU. That's been the big thing with why you see a laptop i7 will only be like running at 2.5 gigahertz, whereas the desktop equivalent will be running at like 3.5 native or 3.6 native gigahertz, because the cooling factor, right? Somehow Alienware came up with a cooling solution that lets the full desktop CPU run in there. And that's what the i9 9900K, that's what, like it's 8 or 12 cores or something like that. That's insane for a laptop.
Heck, that's where mine runs at. It's the i7. I can't remember what number off the top of my head, but it's a 4.2 gigahertz.
Yeah, my desktop, I got an old i7. I have an i7 8780. Let me start over. I have an i7 875K, which was like the midway point between the Core 900 series and the Sandy Bridge 2000 series CPUs. That one came out in between there, back when Intel had the really weird numbering scheme, before they decided that they were going to stick with the thousands. Of course, the 10,000 series naming scheme is kind of weird too, especially when you get into the mobile processors on that one, because they decided they're not only is it going to be 10,000 something, they're going to throw a letter in there at some point too. So you get like 10i 0065. It's really goofy the way they did their the 10,000 series mobile CPUs. So that's how fast the thing off before you lose all of the data that you were using. That like if you're writing a file, you got time to turn off the computer. I don't think you're meant to run that one off the battery. That is
now surely you can get a good 25, 30-minute runtime out of it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think that's when mine's not running AutoCAD. I think I can get about an hour and 15 out of it. That's just if I'm doing, a basic word processor and internet.
Yeah, on my Alienware, I get like 2 hours battery life on it. That's with a what do I have in there? An i7 6700H and GTX 1070.
But yeah, you're right. They are definitely not made to run off of batteries. They are meant to be plugged in.
Yeah, it's basically your battery in those. Even mine or Pickles, they're more. If the power goes out, you have time to save what you were working on and then turn it off.
Now, there's a everything. There's a give and take on everything, and when you're talking laptops with super high, power capability, yeah, they're not meant to be used as a laptop per se, except for they're easy to move around. Well, easier than a desktop, should I say?
Yeah, she's also bringing up the part about where you have the Thunderbolt 3 port, you can add a external card. But yeah, that's pretty much any of those things. What's the difference between the 6700H and the HQ? They're the exact same thing. I forgot the Q being on the name. Stop. It's the same chip.
So
Yeah, like Gary said, a Q. That's the difference.
So, Rich, do you see what I have on my screen?
Yeah, I see.
Have you guys heard about this?
Well, the question is, what exactly are the states going to be using the National Guard for? I mean, the Fed's helping them pay for it. I don't think that's necessarily that uncommon. From what I remember, whenever when the National Guard has been dispatched to help with natural disasters, I think it's pretty common for the Feds to kick in money to help. But the
this
question
isn't.
is, what are the states using it?
The three states ask for Title 32. So,
Okay, I don't know what Title 32 is. Please explain.
Title 32 allows if it's granted by the president or the, like, Homeland Security, then it says National Guard units will remain under the command of the governors in those states, but the federal government, through the Federal Emergency Management Agency, will pay the entire cost of deploying troops, Trump said. He just did a live stream not that long ago, and he's pretty much given complete control to the governors over the National Guard troops.
Well, that's always the case unless they have to be federalized. The National Guard's always
Yeah, and that's
the
where
governor.
what I heard was that Oregon, I think it was, that was using their National Guard to help set up additional, mobile hospitals and this kind of stuff. So for that kind of use, I can understand why the National Guard's mobilized. Kind of like the U.S. Navy has two of their hospital ships that they're getting up and going and sending one to either coast to help out.
Yeah, they can also use the National Guard as to help and assist in law enforcement duties as well, if necessary.
Yeah, that's what. There's one of the military ships, hospital ships, that's already over on the California coast, and the other one for the East Coast won't actually be ready for, I think, a couple more months or a couple more weeks before they'll actually have that one up, because it's still under repairs. You have the Mercy, which is over on the U.S. coast, on the Pacific coast, and then you're going to have Hope that will be over on the East Coast out of New York.
I'm not a huge, on when it comes to some of the things the governments do. But if we're going to be paying for these ships to be functional anyhow, having the hospital ships there to, even if the only thing they're doing is base a supply. I mean, that's if we're paying for those to be functional anyhow, it might as well be used.
Yeah, and what those are going to be used for putting some of the C-19 people out on the ships.
Yeah, those are the ships that you'll see used up whenever there's like a natural disaster somewhere. Like when they had the tsunami that hit Indonesia, those were the ships that were sent over to help with that. Or when they had the tsunami and earthquakes in Japan, they were sent over to help deal with that. That kind of situation. So I think this might be the first time that they've actually had to use them in U.S. waters. Usually they're used overseas to help other nations with the situations they're dealing with.
Right, and that kind of makes sense.
Are they taking those over to like New York and stuff like that? Is that where they're going to go to? Where they're going to have a shortage of beds?
One's going to be stationed in New York, and the other one is going to be in California.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably be San Francisco area because they have a large naval base over there in Alameda, which is right across from.
Well, that's I was gonna say San Francisco, assuming they can get it in the bay, because that's depending on how high they are. There's the naval base there in Alameda is not as big as it used to be because a lot of our newer ships are so big they can't get under the gate. So that's why San Diego. Well, I'm saying San Diego is a big one, on the West Coast now.
Yeah, these hospital ships generally are about the size of a light cruiser. They should be able to get into Alameda.
And they're talking about, if necessary, they'll bring in cruise ships to also help, for holding sick.
Right, I heard that Carnival, had posted something on one of their websites about about some of the Carnival ships, which frankly probably don't have anyone that want to go on them right now anyhow. So using them as a floating hospital, probably about the only way they're going to keep those things functioning at the moment.
Well, they're going to get bailout just like the airlines will in the stimulus package that's going through for the checks for all, as long as you have a certain income, and so they'll get bailed out. But they're putting in stipulations so that no stock buyback can happen, no bonuses to your upper echelon management, and stuff like that. And if they file bankruptcy, they have to refund all the money that they've received, and they can't cancel retirement benefits.
Well, if that's what's going to do to kind of keep these industries going, I don't know if we really have a choice,
Yeah, so they're trying to avoid the 2008 bank bailout being used for bonuses issues that we suppose. I don't know for sure if that happened or not, but that's for rumors that it did. They're trying to avoid that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the stock buybacks in particular, because you had a bunch of businesses sell off stock and everything, and they're trying to keep them from using this as an excuse where they can buy back those stocks at a cheaper price. So that's the point behind that. It's basically to keep them from pulling shenanigans. We're going to sell while their stocks are high, and then when the stock market crashes, we're going to wait until it sells at the bottom, and then we're going to buy all that stock back again. That's what the point of the not allowing the buybacks is, to keep companies from using this to their advantage. Which I don't know if I agree with that or not, because that's the way the game's played.
Yeah, but you also have to think that some of that is they'll buy it back, and then they'll hold on to those stocks until the market returns, and then they'll sell it back to those same people they just bought it from at a much inflated value.
Yeah, but that's the way the stock market's played. I mean, anybody can do that. You could do that as a private citizen right now.
Oh yeah,
they limit the corporations.
Well, you can.
I'm not sure I agree with it.
You can't do that
You
with
can,
emergency
but then,
bailout money that's paid by the taxpayers. That's the issue. Is it's not their money; it's your money that they're going to pay their buy their stocks back with, and then rip people off later. They get it. That's how the game is played. But this is my money now.
I'm still not sure I
right.
agree with putting the limit on them.
I know that's where it was. I was hearing on mainstream media, late last week or last night or whatever it was. There's a few members of Congress that are quote unquote under investigation for insider trading right now, and
Except that,
Feinstein being one of them, which I found to be hilarious.
except that'll go nowhere because if you look at the rules for the House and Senate, they are allowed to do that. It's been done in the past. They are actually allowed to do that because of it's stipulated because of the time that they have to spend in Congress. They may not have time to sell it when everybody else is selling it because they're doing their jobs in the House and Senate. So they are allowed, if they get a tip like that, to sell off their stuff to protect their financial interests.
They all pad
Oh,
themselves with the fact that they have blind trust set up. That's how politicians protect themselves in situations like this. Just like that Georgia governor said, I don't know when my stocks are getting sold and when they're not getting sold until after it's done.
Mm-hmm.
right, and I'm not trying to say whether or not it's legal for them to do it. I just think, and I don't believe it's going to be, actually go anywhere either. I just thought it was interesting that the mainstream news media on national TV was talking about it. That's the kind of thing that those agents, those news media usually don't want to bring up.
Yeah, I forget what senator it was. A senator or a member of the House during Katrina sold off a bunch of their oil futures in the commodities market, and because they had the insider information from the committee meeting that they knew what was coming down the road, and they were going to try. The other side was calling for them to investigate and everything, and they went nowhere because they are allowed to use that information to protect their financial interests.
Yeah, but it's not truly insider trading
No.
because one, the insider trading covers. So, like, if I worked for Big Pharma, if I worked for any of those big pharma companies and Kingpin had stock in it, I call him up and say, hey, we're going to dump 500,000 stocks. Go ahead, sell yours now, and we're going to dump ours in 30 minutes. That would fall under insider trading because somebody from the inside is giving out the information of what's going to happen to tank the stocks. Whereas if, hey, we know that this massive virus is going on and we just haven't released it to the general public. Yeah, it's going to, everyone knows it's going to tank the stock market, but it's not coming from any certain one company or multiple companies. It's, just common knowledge that you could get by looking.
And we've just been joined by Pat Hirsch, by the way. How do you like, Pat?
Oh, not too bad. How's everybody tonight?
Not too bad. I'll give you a chance to go back with our topic we opened the show with. We were coming up with recommendations for TV shows or movies that people could watch while they're stuck at home. So what would you recommend?
Oh man, way too many. I don't know, anything with the Rock in it or Sylvester Stallone.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm kind of an action junkie. So it's any good action films, I guess. Anything to get your mind off of what's going on right now, even for just a little bit. Anyway, that's what I'd recommend anyway.
Okay. So, are we done with what we were just talking about, or you guys still want to? Anybody got anything else they want to add to that discussion?
On the movies or what?
No, the about the stocks and everything. What we were just
Oh, I
talking
missed out that conversation, so I don't know.
about. Okay. Travis, anything you want to add to that?
No, I just think it's a bunch of BS that they're allotted extra time to go or to do their trading or do whatever. They're just because they're busy. Everybody's busy. I can't imagine that they're that busy and they need modern technology. They can't monitor their stocks with their phone.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
rule goes
If that's
back.
the way the law set up,
Yeah, that
it's
rule
still
goes
cheap though.
back.
If you know something major is going to happen with an industry and you dump your stock in it before it goes under because you knew some announcement was going to be made about it, that's kind of crossed the line. If you ask me, that is borderline insider trading.
The Georgia governor is in a little bit more of a pickle because all the stocks that she happened to drop were cruise lines, airlines, and all the stocks she happened to buy were medical equipment.
Well, you got to keep in mind too that she's not covered under that rule that protects the House and Senate.
Well, she said she's got the blind trust set up, so she's trying to cover herself that way.
If she can prove that she has a blind trust and they dumped all that stuff and she had no idea about it, she has a defense for it because they will do that kind of thing. So if she can prove that she had that, then she should be in the clear too.
Oh yeah, and we all forgot to mention Trump is Hitler and the stock market's racist.
Yeah. Well, so is math. Math in and of itself is racist.
Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. It doesn't have like an Arabic origin though.
No,
anyway, I'm just saying. Okay, all right. Or Greek or
Greek origin. The Muslims just try and take credit for it because of reasons. The Muslims take credit for everything. I mean, if you actually read the Quran, and this is funny. Alexander the Great was a Muslim who, before he died, rode to the end of the earth and watched the sun set into a dirty puddle.
Yeah, that's fact. I mean, every school child knows that.
Anyway, I don't know if we want to go off on an Islam rant because Kingpin and I will be here for hours doing that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We've done it before.
We better not put them through that.
Yeah, well, we'll leave that to Acts 17 apologetics and let's see what else. The Apostate Prophet and Vocab Malone and Islam Critiqued. So if you want to watch anything about that kind of stuff, go watch one of those 4 channels. Or Vocab's also good when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites. If you guys want to find out about them, you can go watch this channel on that too.
We do have C4 out in the chat, and we do have Travis P11 on the panel. Maybe Travis could tell us a little 22 TCM story. What he thought of the gun. And I did watch your video, so I kind of know what you thought about it.
No, that's fine. I'd love. In fact, the funny thing, what's ironic about that is the only gun and ammo in stock anywhere right now. So if you're gonna buy something, you might as well go ahead and go 22 TCM. It's very when you first shoot it. What blew my mind is at the 7 yards, you could feel the concussion coming out of the barrel. And I use their 1911 that has like a 5-inch barrel. That's what I shot. Their double stack 1911 pattern handgun, and you could feel the concussion like coming off the board at 7 yards when you first shoot. It was almost like the way there's just the boom from it. It does remind me of like a small AR pistol. You could take that 5.56 round and just like cut it in half in terms of the noise and the report. It just literally feels like you're firing an AR. The fireball isn't as noticeable behind the barrel as it is from the front of the camera. The recoil is really nothing. I mean, you feel the slide move more than anything, and so that's something about that kind of blew my mind. And I'd love to have one just for no reason at all, just for fun. I mean, you could use it as a varmint gun, especially the rifle. Out to say like 100 yards, 150 yards, because you're going to be taking advantage of that full velocity of that round. But it's a lot of fun, man. I mean, you're loading up these like little mini 5.56 rounds in it is what it felt like, And it was cool. I really enjoyed it. Ammo's
like the
only.
muzzle flash.
What's that?
The couple shots that you called to the muzzle flash was really cool too.
Well, yeah, and I should have done maybe some slow-mo shots. I still have the original footage from it. I know that Sarge had got a few cool like screenshots of his, and you can see like the ring of fire coming out of the end of the barrel. which I couldn't get that because it was so light out. His background's a lot darker when he films his videos because he's got the woods. But yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, you're still getting 2,000 feet per second and a little under, I think, 400 pound-feet of energy or foot-pounds of energy, whatever they call it, coming out of the barrel on the 5-inch models. I mean, it'll do some damage. You got, 17, 18 rounds. So you're looking at $14 for a box of 50, so it's pretty inexpensive. It's pretty comparable to, say, 40 cal. But I'm looking at the rifles right now. The rifles are under $400. They've got a tactical model with a pick rail, and then they've got a traditional wood stock version with like a dovetail mount for like traditional scope rings and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun gun, man.
That's the 22 TCM. That's the is it a 9 or a 40 or something that's neck down to 22 or something like that?
No, it's a 5.56 round that takes a shortened 223 bullet.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. They have 22 TCM, and then they've got TCM R, which is like a scrunched up version of the 22 TCM, and the 22 TCM R is designed to fire out of your 1911s designed to fire out of your Glocks that have the 22 TCM conversion on it. So they have a conversion kit that replaces your Glock 17 slide and barrel and recoil spring to be chambered for 22 TCM, but you can still use your Glock bags with it. But that's called the 22 TCM R. It's like a shorter squat version of the regular 22 TCM.
Yeah, the easiest way to think of it is 22 TCM is a shorter squat down 5.56 223 Remington, and then the TCM R is an even shorter version of that. So.
Yeah, they kind of push the bullet back into the case a little bit further, or do whatever, or maybe even have a shorter bullet, one of the two. But yeah, so it's designed so it can fit just like a standard mag well on your Glock. Or if you have I don't know, they have a 1911 conversion kit, and I don't know if that's designed to work with I'm assuming it's designed to work with a 9mm 1911.
Yeah, that's what that. Yeah, I mean, ATI, Rock Island, whatever you want to call it, the same company. They set. I mean, you can get the pistol that has both barrels, the one for the 22 TCM, and then the 9mm barrel.
Oh yeah, they offer that option too. Yeah, I'm talking about just like the straight up conversion kit. Those run about $400 for the barrel slide, the recoil spring. But yeah, there's plenty of that ammo online. You can get cases of 1,000 for $269. Hey, not to change the topic, but what did a case of 55 grain 5.56 cost before all this hoopla that's going on? Wasn't it $299 from PSA, or was it $399?
It wasn't that much. I mean, I think it was $2 something for it. I mean, depending on where you bought it, depending on what price it was and what brand you were buying. Like,
yeah, because go ahead.
The last time I looked, I was looking at Wolf Gold from SGM, and it was around $300 for it. Case of 1,000 on that.
PSA is asking $409 for 1,000 rounds of 55 grain 5.56. I'm like, okay, a little bit of price gouge in there. Or are they just charging closer to retail? Because I don't remember it being $409 before all this. I thought it was $299 with free shipping. Yeah. That's if they still even have it. I don't know. That was on their main deals page.
Who was that?
Last time when I was looking at it.
Yeah, who was selling it for that?
Oh, Metal State Armory.
Oh, okay.
That really kind of surprised me because they don't usually jack their prices up that much.
Yeah. In that case, it might have been the manufacturer. Some of the manufacturers have jacked their prices up a little.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I mean, it's not like they were doing cheaper than dirt, $800 for 1,000 rounds.
No. No, absolutely not. I was just kind of surprised to see it go up that much, but and maybe they're doing it for people that want it. They can get it if they want to spend the price. That could be it too.
Federal had announced that they were going to be raising the prices on some of their stuff, but that wasn't supposed to be till April or May, and they went ahead and decided they were going to increase the prices before then. As soon as the crisis started, we're just going to jack our prices up now. So that might have been on, depending on what brand it was, that might have been on Federal's end.
Well, they might have to pay higher prices to acquire brass and powder unless they make all that stuff in-house, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm fine. I'm sitting fine. I'm just not going to maybe burn as much ammo as I usually do in my range tests and stuff, but I'm just looking to shoot.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that they're out of line doing it. I'm just saying that might not have been PSA's doing that. Might have been Federal.
Yeah.
I know.
If it was Federal brand, like if it was American Eagle. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, speaking of gouging on ammo and cheaper and dirt and all those guys, where and how much is the fuel? Like gas and diesel. How much of a drop have you guys seen in your neck of the woods?
It's below $2 a gallon here.
We are $1.29 where my mom lives in northeastern Nebraska for 10% ethanol, 87 octane gas. I burn non-ethanol gas, so that costs me about an extra 40 cents per gallon. So I'm paying about $1.69 for a gallon of non-ethanol 87 octane for my Jeep.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the gas prices are here right now, but I know it's below $2 a gallon. Not being allowed to drive, I don't really know what the prices are because I'm not the one filling up the gas tank. My wife, if she were down here, she would know the prices. Offhand, I don't. But I do know it's below $2 a gallon.
Yeah, there's rumors it's going to drop down to 99 cents before it hits rock bottom, before we start to see the prices go up. But if people aren't driving, you've got that glut of it now too. Plus the prices were already dropping off. We're not in our prime summer traveling season. Nobody's spring breaking except for some kids. The only thing I'm seeing, I'll tell you, hey, one thing I want to say, man, I want to give a shout out to truck drivers. I ran home last night to pick up a bunch of stuff and coming back on Interstate 80, 170 miles is all that I drove. I saw like 80% of the traffic on Interstate 80 was trucks. So, man, they are hauling stuff like crazy. They're driving great. I mean, there was no problems at all because Interstate 80 is kind of it's an annoying interstate to take because it's 2 lanes and that's it, 75 miles an hour. But man, the trucks were just packed, man, both ways, east and west.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trucks going through town here because we got US 220 runs right through the center of town, and that's a major thoroughfare between a lot of the smaller cities in this area. And there's been a lot of semis going up and down the road.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I mean, it was just, and this was just early morning. You usually don't get heavy traffic, especially near some of the smaller towns in Nebraska, but it didn't matter. And then every car that I saw, I mean, I was just like them because I was coming back with a full load. Every car had so much crap just crammed in their vehicle. I think you had a lot of college kids that were getting booted out of the dorms this week. And so they're going back home. You get a lot of that traffic, and there's just a lot of people getting out of town, going to stay with family and stuff.
Yeah, Sarge wants to know why I can't drive. Because my license has been medically suspended because of my eyesight.
Oh, I thought you just couldn't drive 55.
Well, that might be a problem too. No, my license has been medically suspended because of my eyesight. I need to have cornea transplant in my left eye, and my depth perception is almost non-existent at this point. So, no driving for me.
Ouch.
Well, I can tell you the gas over here.
No, go ahead.
I can tell you gas over here on the West Coast. At some gas stations, it's like $2.69, but at Costco, it's like $2.26 a gallon.
Mm-hmm. I need to check gas prices locally. I guess I can look that up on my phone because we got a Costco about 3 blocks more that we belong to.
Yeah, where you're at, Travis, up in Northeast. I'm right down here, South Central, just south of Hastings. And
oh yeah. Well, I was just in Lexington, so yeah, that's what Lexington
I'm
was a little bit higher.
84. Oh, you're out by Lex?
Yeah, we still have a place out in Lexington right now, but we're in the process of moving to Lincoln.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, real quick. Did you guys just hear what my wife was saying?
No.
This might interest Kingpin. She's saying that Governor Hogan of Maryland has just declared martial law in Maryland and is closing the borders to the state unless you have reason to be there. You're not allowed to enter the state of Maryland.
That's the first I've heard of that. Where'd she get that information from?
I don't know. She was looking at something on her phone and she just left, so I can't ask her. She just went to go pick up the kids from work.
So why are they doing that? Is there a pretty good sized outbreak of this in Maryland? I mean, the thing is, everybody's going to get it or pass it or show signs of it. I understand we need to keep people safe, but I mean, it's really
Eastern
necessary to report the numbers, you know?
Yeah, Eastern Maryland over towards Baltimore, I think they've had a pretty decent sized outbreak, haven't they, Kingpin?
No, not really.
No?
I mean, it's relatively small. We've got 2 deaths. I don't even know if we're in the hundreds of people tested positive yet.
Somebody on the news was saying that Maryland's had a decent breakout. I don't know. They didn't give numbers though, so I don't know what the. When I just caught it in passing because, like I said, I really haven't even been paying attention to it because I'm not worried about it as what some other people are. So that's why I'm asking him because he lives. You know, if you want the information on Maryland, Kingpin lives there. So, you know.
So, Frederick News Post Hogan announces extreme measures in wake of community transmission of. But I don't see where it actually says that he declared.
I don't think it can actually happen unless the president ups his levels of declaration. At that point, then he'll have the power to do so because he'll have the National Guard to help him enforce it.
Yeah, that's why I was asking Kingpin. Because, like I said, if you want to find out about Maryland, ask. He lives there. So.
Seeing what they're saying about it right now.
Yeah, G-Web said he didn't get a notification. Yeah, that happens a lot anymore with YouTube. People don't get notifications. Like the Daily Gun Show, I get up in the morning and sometimes I'll have gotten a notification overnight that the Daily Gun Show went live. Sometimes I don't.
Well, the New York Times says affairs in Maryland, martial law enforced in Baltimore.
Yeah, she said that a railroad worker before she said a railroad. I can't talk.
Railroad?
my tongue is like sticking to the roof of my mouth, but I can't say railroad.
All right, I'll say railroad and you say worker, okay? Railroad.
Worker that she knows had to go and get a special photo ID made. And it was they said this. He's told her that the state of Maryland told him he had to get that.
So travel documents like World War II are in effect.
I guess in Maryland anyway, unless Kingpin knows otherwise. I don't know. This is just what she was telling me before she left. That was one thing I remember. She did say that somebody she knows that works for the railroad had to go and get a special photo ID made, showing that he actually works in the state of Maryland but doesn't live there, so that he wouldn't be stopped if he tried crossing the border or something.
Well, I could understand maybe if you're a rail worker for the fact that that is kind of considered, you know, under the Department of Homeland Security, you know, because of the way it's all laid out and the infrastructure of it. So I could maybe possibly see that. It'd be like having TSA having to have their special IDs.
Yeah. Well, my wife's worried because she works in Maryland. The hospital she works at is in Maryland. It's in Cumberland.
Well, her hospital ID badge would show that she is a medical worker and and they're considered part of the vital infrastructure.
Yeah, probably not because you work there and you have the badge to prove it. I mean, I don't see how they can stop her from going to work, especially at the hospital. You know?
If she were to get pulled over, all she'd have to do is hand her driver's license and her ID badge.
Yeah, I mean, she works. If they're going to try and say that hospital worker isn't an essential thing, yeah, I don't think that's going to fly too much.
Yeah, Trump already said that all medical are essential and are to stick at doing their jobs unless, you know, they're deemed non-essential. So pretty much like if you're an office worker.
Yeah. Now, somebody else was getting ready to say something. I think we cut him off. Who was getting ready to talk and say your piece?
The local news is about to come on, so I'll let you guys know in a few minutes.
Okay, Kingpin.
I didn't know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go.
Go ahead, Pat.
Well, your wife working in the medical field. This is definitely a time that you definitely don't want her to bring work home with her, right?
I don't want her to bring work home with her ever. I was like, what happens in the hospital stays in the hospital.
Yeah, it's kind of like Vegas, huh?
No worries on Vegas. Vegas is pretty much closed.
Yeah, Sarge is saying, do you really think they
Yeah.
shut down all the interstates and roads running to and from Maryland? The sky is falling. The sky is falling. It really wouldn't be that hard to shut off the interstates. There's only like 4 of them.
Yeah, I know. Like out here, if they wanted to close the interstate down, I know at least on the west end, and Travis can back me up on this. They've actually got barriers that actually swing across, and they can actually shut it down when they. It's usually for snowstorms,
Yeah.
but I mean, if they
Yeah.
wanted to shut the west end down on the interstate, they could pretty easy.
Yeah. But the interstates in Maryland, the ones that cross borders, there'll be 70, 68, 95, and 81. Am I missing anything, Ken?
He might be watching the news report there.
Yeah, he might not be listening. But I'm pretty, I can't think of any other. I don't think the 295 and 495 reach up into Maryland. I don't remember. They probably do. It's part of the Beltway.
295 and 495, the vast majority of them are in Maryland.
Okay. But those would be it, right? 68, 70, 95, 81, 295, and 495, right?
Well, until you get out west, and you're starting to.
Well, out here it could just be 68.
Well, I mean, you got all the way out in Cumberland.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah,
there's-
Interstate 68. That's the only one that's there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just about it then. You said 243 too, right?
No, I missed that one.
Yeah.
That was the one I couldn't remember. But yeah.
Well, the news has been on for about 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm going to say that that's probably not true because they didn't lead with that. Right now, they're basically just rerunning the stories from earlier today.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody online told her that or if she read it on some website or something.
There was a shooting in Fells Point, which is like the yuppie place in Baltimore where the bars and stuff are, about an hour ago.
Is that usually not an area where you get much violent crime other than just like say bar fights and stuff like that, or what?
Yeah, you could put it that way. I mean, it's not crime free, but it's not the first place you think of. It's one of the safer places, except for like you said, bar fights and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we probably won't have to worry about those for a while, so.
Yeah, I seen somewhere. I was reading it somewhere online where can't remember if it's like somewhere in the southeast that they're actually doing home alcohol deliveries and stuff now instead of people going out to the bars and stuff.
Hey, Sarge, don't call my wife a troll. Come on, man.
What?
He says some troll baited you into talking about it for 15 minutes. That troll would be my wife, Sarge. Come on, that's not cool, man.
Shouldn't the Sarge be at work?
He probably is. He'll listen to the shows.
Oh yeah.
He'll listen to the shows while he's in his squad car waiting for somebody to go speeding by or get a call or something. Yeah, I mean, he's just sitting out there waiting, twiddling his thumbs, essentially. So he's got to do something.
Every second home, there's nothing you got to worry about now.
Mm-hmm.
So how are things looking in your guys?
Himself. He said the troll wrote the article she read.
How are things looking in your guys' next of the woods in terms of groceries? You got a little bit more showing up now in the stores, or not?
It hasn't been super bad here now that the other staters have all moved on.
Yeah. And we got plenty of food in the stores on the shelves right now. I mean, I haven't really noticed much of a reduction, like canned goods and things like that. And main thing.
Is, yeah, going back to the thing about the troll and everything, because G-Web was talking about misinformation and stuff. The thing with Larry Hogan, it's easy to believe that he would have made that decision.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that.
You know, he would just be following California's example, right? So it wouldn't be the first time Maryland has done something like that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who's going to say something? Somebody in there say.
We find out tomorrow how much of Oregon will get shut down, or if anything will get shut down. So we're just waiting on Kate Brown to say what. I mean, yeah, like restaurants and stuff like that, bars have been closed, but mostly everything else is still up and going. Schools are closed until like the 28th of April.
Good God.
Yeah. G-Web says he went to the 99-cent store an hour ago and they had plenty of food, all types, just low on bread and low on canned food.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a little bit of grocery shopping because I have work for the rest of the week, at least at this point in time. And pretty much everything was there. I mean, I got to see people hoarding crap and, you know, panic buying. There was a guy there that had a shopping cart just heaped full of stuff. I'm like, really? But hey, everyone deals with everything their own way.
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't see.
Well, I can understand. Oh, go ahead.
No, you haven't said much, Pat. Go ahead.
Oh, I just, with having 4 kids, you know, I've always got to keep, you know, when I go out shopping, me and the wife, you know, always got to buy extra just because I've got 4 kids. And, you know, I always keep extra on hand anyway, just in case, you know, like snowstorm or, you know, stuff like that time of year, or, you know, or if we just get so busy we can't get out because, I mean, shoot, Hastings, the biggest city, I guess, away from us is like dang near an hour. So when we make a trip, you know, we always make a trip. And I can understand people wanting a little extra on hand, but when you see somebody walk out of the dang store with 3 years worth of freaking toilet paper for a house of 2, you know, it's just like, come on, people, pull your heads out of your ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was saying, around here, our main problem was out-of-staters from Maryland, Virginia. We've had people from New York and New Hampshire down here, even though we're raiding our Walmart when everything first started going nuts. Since then, the main rush has been on things like canned pastas and stuff that once they closed the schools down, because people are buying stuff that their kids can make up real easy for their lunches and stuff. So that's been the main thing that we've been seeing issues with, and bread and eggs, that kind of stuff. But most of your other stuff really hasn't been bad. Now the meat market has been crazy going there, because everybody, if you're not there early in the morning, if you wait till the afternoon, you're liable not to get anything because they may have ran out by then, because people are just going crazy buying fresh meat at the meat market. I don't know what it is with this virus panic and people having to have fresh meat, but geez, people are going nuts for the fresh meat.
You'll be happy to know, Rich, that Allegheny and Garrett counties still have 0 cases. And so far, I've not seen anything on that. They said the Maryland's got like 250 confirmed cases, and then a 40-year-old woman just died, but she had, you know, health complications already. So, but the counties surrounding your house are still pretty clear.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, with all the schools and everything closing down, I know our little school here, even though it's closed, they're still offering the kids at lunchtime lunches and stuff. All you have to do is, and they actually found some volunteers and stuff to deliver. If like if your kids are still needing it and stuff like that. I was just wondering if anybody else's community is kind of doing something like that with the schools all closed down.
No, they're not doing that here that I know of. But in Cumberland, what I know, the hospital my wife works at for the workers, the Catholic charities in the area are paying for child care services to watch and babysit the nurses and the techs children while they're and office workers while they're at work, so that they don't have to worry about what they're going to do with their kid and going to work and whatnot.
Yeah, where I'm at in central Nebraska, just in Lexington, they're doing I don't know if they're doing breakfast, but I know they're doing curbside pickup for lunch for any kids that are in the school district. So they offer like a limited window where you can just pull up and they hand you a sack lunch for the kid or sack lunches for the kids that are there, because they've got the food. They're trying to use up a lot of the food. Plus they've got the funding, so they don't, they're just buying the food so that they can get the food distributed. So yeah, they are offering that in the little town that I live in. And it's probably around 3,000 kids or so, something like that, 3,200 kids, I would think, between all the different schools.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I know in our little town, between the elementary and the high school down here at Red Cloud, we might have 400 to 500 kids all together between them. Maybe it's a little higher than that, but I think that's just like what you said, they've got it on hand. I mean, and just going to go to waste or get freezer burn or whatever, or expired if they don't get in there and use it up. So they might as well. So I think that's nice that they're still doing something like that, especially for, moms and dads that both have a job and, the kids.
Well, yeah, you might have a lot of older brothers and sisters that are watching their families. You've got a lot of families that have 4, 5, 6 kids in the family, and mom and dad are both working, and a lot of them work the same shift because, well, the kids are at school during the day, so they don't have to worry about staying home with the kids, or the parent in that matter is the one that's out working, and the older brothers or sisters watching the little brother or sister, and they might have a driver's license so they can swing through, pick up lunch, and go back to the house.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, I'm pretty lucky. My wife's a stay-at-home mom, my wife's a stay-at-home mom, and so I really don't have to worry about any of that, and we're out on a farm, kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it's kind of nice. So most of the time I self-isolate anyway, so
yeah, there you go. You naturally self-isolate, right? Back 40. Yeah.
I got an idea.
Most of the people I'm around are cows, so
yeah, there you go.
Well, we're talking about the kids being out of school and everything. Say the kids are out of school and power goes out and you need to keep them entertained. What would be good ways of doing it? Like, what kind of board games, for example, or what have you, would you pull out of the closet and sit down, and what activities would you do with your kids if you have any kids, or just maybe you and your wife would sit down and play a board game or something? What would it be? We'll start with Mystic. What would you suggest on that front?
Is target practice suitable?
Yeah, there you go. Plink the cans. Yeah, get some 22 LR.
Perfect.
We have Uno Attack that we've got for Christmas that we played. Other than that, we play Dominoes or Phase 10.
All right. Well, what about you, Travis?
Well, I threw away countless hours of middle school, and I don't want to admit it, maybe the first year or so of high school doing role-playing games with my friends. So things like BattleTech, D&D, Marvel Superheroes. You can download free-to-play versions of those games. You can download them and print them off, or download them and teach the kids how to play role-playing games. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
You're the kid in high school that I beat up.
Not really, but it was weird, man. There was like about 8 of us that would sit around and do the tabletop games thing. No, we were all athletes and stuff, and we just had weird hobbies, man. Like we all had like a little military miniature model phase we went through, and then we kind of got into RC cars, and then a bunch of us got into role playing games and stuff. My high school had 72. We had 72 kids in my class.
Yeah,
So
when I was in high school, the football team and the junior RGC cadets were the ones that were out there playing D&D. People didn't mess with us too much. I don't know why that would be.
yeah, we went hunting and shooting and stuff like that. That was just a weird phase we had in middle school. We didn't have cars. None of us had girlfriends, so that was kind of the thing that we did. So you could try to beat us up, I suppose, but I don't.
Yeah.
But though, man, I mean, you can spend hours. I mean, just like when we used to do that with Matt on the weekends with NEA, we'd have our whole little crew sitting around and we do those little online things that Adam Jimenez would regulate.
Yeah,
The role playing games. We play for 4, 5, 6 hours at a time and really get not a whole lot done. So
I may or may not know of a website where you can get almost all the D&D books for nothing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can get one called Pathfinder, which is like an entry-level D&D game that you get the box set for like $30. MechWarrior BattleTech is awesome because that's robot combat, so it's a lot like a video game.
You ever play the Robotech RPG?
No, I never did play that one. Honestly, where I lived, you couldn't really get the cartoon, so I didn't have it till a little bit later on in my childhood. Like it wasn't on TV until later on, and I didn't really know about the whole Robotech world until I was basically in middle school at that point. So I didn't even know that they had an RPG version of it because we weren't playing that particular one with my little circle of friends.
Yeah, we were playing. Me and my friends, we mostly played D&D and Robotech. We got into Star Wars too at one point.
And there's some other good ones out there. Milton Bradley did Axis and Allies.
Shadowrun. You ever play it?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, we were huge on that. They're making a movie with that, or they're making a new video game with that with Keanu Reeves in it.
A couple of different video games of that. Shadowrun was fun.
But Fortress America and Axis and Allies, those are really cool tabletop games that you can play. They take hours to play. They're combat based, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. Fortress America is kind of like Red Dawn, the board game, more or less, and Axis and Allies is like a World War II simulator.
Yeah. For those that don't know what Shadowrun is, that's kind of like D&D in the future in a quasi-post-apocalyptic world where mega cities and stuff were starting to be built. And part of the United States and Canada are now one country, and then other parts of the United States and Canada are different countries that have split off. And Seattle is part of the United States, what was the United States and Canada, the government that they formed, but it's totally surrounded by other countries. It's like an island in the middle of the North Pacific, surrounded by other countries. It's a rather interesting concept. And there's like people have cyberware and stuff. Everybody walking around is like the $6 Million Man, only better.
Exactly. But yeah, some of those are sold at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe not so legal scans that are out there of like the rule books and the record sheets that you can download and stuff, and you can play them on a tablet. You can mark up your tablet.
Yep.
You got dice rolling apps. You don't even have to buy dice anymore.
But that's part of the fun, rolling all those dice, man. I got a can full of nothing but polyhedral dice. It was in fact, it was one of the cigarette companies. My mother got it years ago, and I still have the darn thing. It's one of those tin cans with the pull-off lid. I'm trying to remember what brand cigarette it was.
Camel?
No, it wasn't Camel. I think it was one of the ones that began with a C.
Okay.
It wasn't Camel. It might have been Charleston.
I know Winston had stuff like that.
Yeah, it might have been Winston. Yeah, that might have been what it was. I'd have to get the can and look because it says on the inside of the can what brand it was. It has a story about the brand. Yeah, it's a nice can. It has like a scene of it's like painted on the cans, like a scene of a tobacco farm all the way around it. It's like a tannish color with black lines. It made a good dice can. That's all I know. I think I might have my Heroka deck for Ravenloft in there too. Now that I think about it. Remember the card deck that they had for Ravenloft? It was like a tarot deck.
No, I don't think I'd seen that one.
Yeah, it came in like the second Ravenloft box set. Realm.
Okay.
Or I think the name of the box set was. But yeah, you could use that. You could actually use that with the Ravenloft module, but when they reprinted it and they made it where it was a higher level module than what the original Ravenloft module was, the one where you got to fight Strahd at the end. I don't know how much you were into Ravenloft, but Ravenloft was like my favorite setting because it was horror based, but it was like gothic horror.
Yeah, okay. No, we never got into that one.
Yeah, Ravenloft was cool. And you could get there from anywhere. It would pull you into it. You didn't want to go to Ravenloft. You just ended up there. Anytime you walked into a fog bank, you could be walking into Ravenloft and not even know it. But, anyway, whose turn it up? You there or are you still watching the news?
You're talking about me, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what? Now that me and Travis have talked for 15 minutes about role-playing games, what kind of like or something would you recommend?
We're talking about electricity-free stuff, right?
Yes.
I mean,
You
obviously,
can have battery operated, I guess.
well, when I was a kid, I had battery-powered Tron and Pac-Man and all that kind of stuff, but kids wouldn't play that these days. Monopoly, obviously, is a pretty solid game that takes quite a bit of time. And then, I mean, there's a bunch of games from my childhood that I could think of, but Uno's another one that takes a little bit of time. Teach your kids how to play spades.
David, they've remade all those old vintage video games now. You've seen those at Walmart and like the hobby stores and stuff. Like they got the little mini arcade Pac-Man. The kids are buying those up like crazy, dude.
Have you seen that they brought out the 4-player Ninja Turtles game?
Oh yeah, that thing's like it's like $400, but yeah, they make the upright console or the arcade version of it.
The original game and the sequel. I don't know how many quarters I've wasted on that game when I was younger. If me and 3 of my friends together, man, we'd be on that machine all day.
Oh God, yes.
And they got the Avengers one too. Remember they had an Avengers one that was like
yeah.
that. So they got that one too. It's not on the Turtles machine, but it's on a separate machine. But they have it, so you can build up your own home arcade these days and not spend a whole lot of money.
I don't remember which one. It might have been like Home Shopping Network or something. They had a like one of those consoles, but it had like 25 or 30 games built into it. But they were all the legit, full-on video games. They weren't like imitations of them. They had like Double Dragon and a whole bunch of other games built into them.
Yeah, they got one. It has Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 in it, I believe.
Oh wow!
Yeah, those things are cool. Anyway, moving on. G23, anything you want?
Geek chat. Yeah.
What board games would you like to do?
Don't really do board games. Poker, like some Texas Hold'em.
Ooh.
Teach your kids how to gamble. Get them good so that when Vegas reopens, get them to go count. Get them going to count cards for you.
Hey, I've been playing poker since I was 5 years old. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but on the Vegas Strip.
Yeah. Start looking up YouTube videos on how to make a fake ID.
Oh, honest to God, though, my grandfather he started teaching us how to play poker when we were like 5, 6 years old. Because he says it's a good way to learn how to count. So, I mean, that and blackjack. Blackjack was another one he used to play with us because he'd make us count the pips on the cards. So, I guess he wasn't wrong, Blackjack, I guess you could teach a kid math with it.
Yep.
True. Yeah.
I'm gambling as we speak.
Now we get to somebody I know who has kids. Pat, what would you do?
We're pretty outdoorsy. I usually get my kids like on the quads and the 3-wheelers and
there you go.
If it's nice and stuff. But board game stuff. the wife just picked this up a year ago. The Super Mario Brothers Monopoly and Uno and 4-point pitch with the two older ones. And maybe I'll send them over to G23's School of Cards over there, so that way they can break in a little extra money if it does open up.
That's right.
G23 Casino.
Yeah, there you go.
Teach them blackjack. You just say your wife, you teach them how to add. You know?
I'll teach them blackjack, some maybe some Pai Gow. Definitely, you got to teach them Texas No Limit Hold'em.
I love playing that.
Tell them to bring their lunch money because it's going to cost them.
Okay, I'll do that.
Remember, though, on blackjack, you get the best odds of winning out of all the casino games that are out there. So that's, you know.
Oh, yeah, we got to teach them roulette. We got to teach them roulette while we're at it.
Oh, God.
that all on
teach them how to count cards, too.
That's right. Counting cards is number one. Gotta get that hustle game.
I told you, man.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure so that
the poker teaches them how to count, and blackjack teaches them how to add.
All right, so I'm going to see what we have for video poker options on my computer here. What can we?
All right.
Where to play video poker? Because CaesarsCasino.com. There we go. Can I just jump right onto it and start playing, or what?
I don't know. But,
Casino.org. There you go.
A couple people have mentioned Uno. That's a good one. Operation. This is why I said battery powered, because Operation's battery powered. And that's a good one. Teaches hand-eye, especially for teaching hand-eye coordination. When you have to pull out those little funny bones and stuff out of the guy that you're operating on. Who actually has a name, and right now I cannot remember what it is.
That's survival training right there. You know, operations just like the real thing. You could skip medical school.
Oh, hell yeah. You got to reconnect the hamstring and stuff. You know, that's the one thing that's not a removal but a fixing is the rubber band for the hamstring. Everything else gets taken out. The hamstring gets fixed.
Boy, you don't want me operating on anybody. I shake too damn bad.
Hey, I worked on an ambulance for, like 10 years. I'm the best equipped.
Battleship. Battleship's a good one. And that can take
Stratego. I mean, we all need to figure out how to join our militias together right now. So Stratego would be perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
There was an old board game. I don't know if you can find it anymore, but it was called Generals, which was kind of in the same kind of thing, but it wasn't quite as complicated as Stratego. The idea was to capture the other team's flag and stuff. So, you had privates all the way up to generals, and each one was able to do certain things. So that was kind of a cool game. I used to play that when I was going to the Christian school at the church I went to. What's another one? Trivial Pursuit. Especially if you've got older kids, or if it's just you and some of your friends sitting around the lantern. Trivial Pursuit's a good one.
If you're not in your 40s, man, you're going to have trouble answering a bunch of those questions.
That's not true.
If you got the old school blue box or whatever, the original,
That's why you memorize all the answers first, and then you beat all your friends because they don't know the answers.
This is true. Then you just look amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Already mentioned Life. Life was a good one. Sit around playing that one.
Yeah. I still have the original Life when it first came out. My sister gave it to me.
And like was said, Monopoly. And there's so many different forms of Monopoly these days. You got one that uses where everybody gets like a debit card instead of having to keep money on hand, which is good because then you don't lose the money. I don't know how many Monopoly games we had when I was younger, because my stepsister, when she was younger, would always get in the game and take the money out and play with them with her damn dolls and stuff, and then she'd end up losing all the Monopoly money. Made it hard to play Monopoly if you can't find the money to it. But Yeah, I got a Star Wars edition, which actually has these gold coins, which are like $1,000 each, or 1,000 credits for the Star Wars version. Came with 5 of those. So what's some other board games? I mean, it might not be good for little kids, or it might, depending on how intelligent your kids are. You know, sit down and pull out the old chessboard or checkerboard. You know, depending on how
Could
many
you
kids.
put that up, G23?
No, this is me.
Yeah, that's Travis.
I finally found something that'll play on a 10-year-old MacBook. God, I'm not doing good right now.
You've got to use the opportunity to channel your inner Kenny Rogers when you're gambling.
Gotta know when to
You
hold
got a
'em,
pair, and
know when to fold
Jack's better. You
them,
had a pair of Jacks.
know when to run
You got a
away.
pair of aces there. Keep the aces and dump everything else.
Sing it, Kenny.
Hey, I'm back to where I was. Yay, I'm winning.
Got a possible flush or a possible straight. Which way do you want to play it?
Possibly nothing is what I got.
Nothing now.
This is freeslots.com, guys. I'm going to tabletop review this tomorrow.
You just need a 6. No, you need a 9. You need a 6 and a 9, or 9 and a Jack. So you get
Don't worry, I'm not playing with real money, so we're okay there. Oh, 8, 9, 10 Jack. Nah, we'll go for the pair of aces.
Yeah,
This is a pretty cool website. Yeah,
an ace is a sure win, except because got Jackson better.
I think I'll just start a YouTube channel where I just play this, like, live stream it, and that's it. Then people just sit and watch.
Yeah, well, that's basically what we're doing now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you know, like the second time you live stream, you'd have a bunch of people and they're gambling on the side. Like, is he going to pick the 5? Is he going to pick the 7? Is he going to win? I bet you $50 he loses this game.
Oh man, she's not hot tonight, guys.
Jacks are better, so you got a pair of Jacks.
Right on. Aces automatically. Oh.
Remember, you got to have at least 2 pair, or Jacks are better than a pair. You got 2 pairs.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Work with me here.
You still got 2 pair.
I know. Still. Man, I'm worse than my old man right now. All right. Yay!
Pair of 2s. That's better than that. You got the pair of 3s, but you have to get 2 pair. Or better.
Just keep the king.
No, keep the 3s if you get 3 of a kind.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, 3 of a kind or 2 pair.
Yeah. I'm still above 200 though, so I'm still $10 up right now, so that's good.
Pair of 2s.
2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a pair of 2s or a possible flush.
Oh, yes. Here we go. There we go.
Pair of aces. So it's Jackson
I'll
better.
take it. We'll take it. Freeslots.com. Check it out.
You got another damn pair of 2s. What is
this?
This is in a row. You start with a pair of 2s.
Been approved right here, so you guys are good to go if you go to this place. Right, you're guaranteed to win. So, yeah, and it plays through like a 10-year-old MacBook, so that's the best part about it. So if you got any of those work computers that are still running like Windows 7, this should definitely run on it.
Hey, you didn't start with a pair of 2s this time.
Imagine if you were playing like one of those real intricate slots games, and then half the people that were watching were having seizures and passing out.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be some lawsuits in the morning. So, yeah, it's
That's
funny
right. This is
about.
Richie's channel.
Yeah, there's an app version too. See, that's the top. Get the app.
I wonder if we can all link up together and all play against each other. Nah, I guess we couldn't do that. There's probably some Texas Hold'em games we can play against each other.
Yeah.
See, there you go. That's something you can do with family. You guys can do Texas Hold'em online with your family members.
Hey, Travis, I'm playing,
Yo.
so we could always try to see if we're able to link up.
Yeah, there we go. I can have a daily log. There we go. Yeah.
I found you
I
win
like
more
your
often
sense
if
of
you hit
humor.
max bet.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. What's the max bet? 5?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I'm betting 5 every time. It's just not happening. I'm down $20. Kingpin, I need you to loan me $20.
I'm up 25.
Oh,
That's no
man.
problem. I'll screen share my credit card real quick.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do that. Here we go. Come on, baby.
Look
Come on,
at
baby. Give me spades.
Yeah.
Oh, did it just give me the same card? I think it just did. I think I noticed something here.
Hearts and gave you another 7 of hearts.
Nah.
And if you're gonna hold the ace and the king,
Ugly.
they held the 10 too.
It's just ugly. It's just gambling away my whole paycheck, I guess. I don't know. We got a couple 4s here.
Yeah, you got a pair of 4s.
She's cold, man. She's cold.
Keep the king, 10, and jack.
Yay! There we go. 2 pair. All right.
pair.
Now we're back in
And its
business.
jacks are better on top of it, but I don't think
I'm only down $20.
No, it did. It highlighted the 5 and the 10, so I guess you got the Jackson better and the 2 pair. And the 2 pair.
Oh, yeah. FreeSlots.com. Check it out. What's sweepstakes all about? You can sign up for their newsletter. Okay. View log. Oh, so you can also check your hand and what you got, your winning percentage and stuff. Oh, interesting. Oh, here we go. All right, give me diamonds.
For your gambling addiction, go to freeslots.com.
Yeah, there you go. If you actually like sign up for membership, they'll fill in this button because we don't know what that does right there.
This is actually strangely entertaining.
I'm telling you, I'm just going to live stream this tomorrow all day long. I'm just going to drink my coffee, eat my breakfast. You guys can just watch me play video slots. If we play some Texas Hold'em, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is like watching the World Series of Poker.
Pretty much. I can back out. G23, if you're playing, I can let you stream your screen if you want to.
How far are you down?
I'm down $45 right now.
I can loan you 40. We break even at 200.
Hey, that works. Well, the problem in Nebraska is we're not allowed to have casinos, so I don't get to practice as much as I want to. So, unfortunately, which is funny because we have these things a good chance. But what's that?
We can all turn our cameras on. Everybody go get a deck of cards, and we'll all turn our cameras on, and we'll play Texas Hold'em against each other now. But I'm automatic dealer. I promise I won't cheat.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm up 255.
Oh my God! What's your secret?
Hustle, baby, hustle.
Oh man!
Oh,
you get hustled by the.
I'm up to 270.
Jeez. I'm only down 55 right now. So.
See, I can still loan you the 55 and break a profit.
Nah, it's okay. You're gonna break my knees if I don't pay you. So yeah, I'm good.
Well, that's in the fine print.
I mean, we got to practice social distancing, so you're gonna have to wait before you can do that. But Hey,
Yeah,
2
you can't
pair.
send people,
The people in chat getting tired of seeing my screen. I can drop off if you guys want. It's okay.
Nobody's saying much of anything right now. So.
Okay, all right. Come on, baby. 3 of a kind.
Okay, let
Right
me
off
ask-
You know what this reminds me
Oh, go
of?
ahead.
The lobby chats when you used to sit there and watch Sean Connery playing video games.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or you could take it. Oh, go ahead, Pat.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to talk trash. Go ahead, man. You might say something interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, out of everybody here, is everybody still able to go to work?
I go
Well,
to
me being a teacher, yeah, I know we're done right now, but we'll probably be doing some online teaching here pretty soon, I'd imagine. I hope so.
Hey, Travis, I just pulled a straight.
Oh man,
He can't even pull a flush. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah, no. Hey, Jackson Redder. Okay, I'm slowly working my way back up here. So,
you already got a pair of aces.
King, Queen. Wait a minute.
That won't
Oh,
work.
no. No, you're right. Yeah. Dad played poker in years, man. I used to play all the time, but two pair. We're making a comeback now. I think it heard me saying I was going to walk away from the game, and then it decided to, start working with me here.
Well, there's a guaranteed win.
On the flop. One pair of kings. Ooh, two pair.
Oh, all right. Here we go. Come on, baby. Give me four of a kind. Work with daddy. Oh, yeah. Boom. There we go. Full house, baby.
Yep, 280 now.
280. She's hot. I can't stop playing now. She's hot. Trying to throw out the most cliche lines you hear in casinos, Hey, Kingpin, I want just give me a vodka sour, okay?
Yes, sir. Right away. Would you like to put that on your room, or are you going to be paying cash?
No, you guys are comping me. I got the coupons in the mail, so I'm good.
He's a high roller, man. He's getting comp.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Okay, here's a little bet between Travis and G23. First one to 400 wins.
Oh God, dude, he's probably 10 away from there right now, man.
305.
Guy's a pro.
305.
See, I told you, guy's a pro, man. I'm only down 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, here we go. Give me 7, baby. Give me 7. Oh. Here we go again. 9, 10, King, Queen. I swear to God, I just had this 5 minutes ago. 9, 10, see a jack, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
There 10 doesn't cut it.
I'll go back down to 200, then I'll go ahead and stop so I can break even.
310.
Right.
Here we go.
A pair of queens. You should have kept the ace. We would have had 2 pairs.
Yeah. Let's try that again. Nope. Ooh, 8, 9, 10, jack. We just need a queen. Not gonna happen.
Yep. Nope, got a 4.
Now, my odds would probably be better off taking the king, though, wouldn't they? Because if I get the jacks are better, I can. Yeah. No.
I don't know what to tell you to do there.
Go for flush.
Yeah, 7, 6. Yeah, flush or a straight ticket.
So what we can do is we can all start playing this, and we just have conversations like we're sitting next to each other at the slot machines or something. So
I wonder how many people are still watching this.
I don't know. This is some. If Kingpin says it's interesting, I mean, it must be good, right?
Says there's 8 people watching us. So.
Hey, just play freeslots.com.
Yeah, well, Kingpin can't be trusted. I mean, he thinks Snob and Obi-Wan are just the greatest people in the world.
Well, they are.
This is going on.
Hey, Mystic, when did you get here? How long have you been here? When did you join us?
I toned out whenever they started playing poker because I never played poker. I don't know how to play.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is going on midnight.
By the way, boys.
No, we're not.
Once I learned she didn't know how to play poker.
No, we're not.
And Midnight's
Go to the
wondering
casino,
where
they're
all
closed.
at because he sent his links out, and we're over here watching Travis play video poker.
I'm $30 up right now, so yeah. Hey, 2 pair. Woohoo!
Travis,
Yeah.
you should start a gaming channel. Just you playing this online poker all the time.
I think I'm just going to stream this all day tomorrow. Hey guys, ask me some questions, and you can watch me play video poker. I'll answer the questions the best I can.
And then you need an ace or a 9.
9, 10, jack, king, queen.
Yeah.
Scary thing is,
Or
with everybody stuck at home, everybody would you'd probably have 1,000,
Yeah, you got it.
100,000 subscribers by the end of the week.
You got your.
I think I'm going to try that as an experiment tomorrow. If I don't get any assignments or any work sent to me from the district, I might just stream this, and I'm not playing with real money, so I'm not actually doing any real gambling.
Yeah, how many times
See,
did you
that's-
try to put it straight together and you finally got one?
Yeah, I know.
That's the important thing you have to work on, Travis, is you got to work on your sales pitch to get your Patreon people to support your gambling habit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So how far?
Kind. I'm up to 325 right now. I was one off of having a straight flush, man.
370.
Ooh. First one to 400 wins.
I've got the perfect pitch for your Patreons already.
Well, what's that?
Please
What's that?
support please support me on Patreon, or Guido will come and break my legs.
Yeah, there you go. And then I won't be able to do any range tests because I won't be able to walk.
That was golden. I love that.
You better hurry up and catch up.
I'm sorry, but if you guys knew me a little bit better, I've actually got a pretty morbid sense of humor.
Oh God. Oh man, I was excited for a second there. Yeah, I'm still sitting at 330. It just ain't happening right now. 340. A lot of pressure, man. With all you people watching, there's 8,000 people watching this right now.
No, 8. 8.
8. Oh, I think you said 8,000. I was pretty excited. I was like, man, that's.
And some of those are probably us. Oh no, not me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Ooh.
What are you up to? 380?
I just dealt. I was at 395.
Oh man.
Game over.
You got your 4? Ah.
Well, you better get a royal flush here, like really quick.
Man, I better hurry up.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's ever. I think that's happened to me once.
There you go, Trav. There you go, Trav.
What's that?
You see my screen?
Yeah, he won. He's at 400.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop sharing. I'll stop sharing. Dang, and you got it on Jacks or better. Man, that sucks.
And there you go. And I even started after you did.
Yeah.
Hey man, look, I'm up, $115, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right.
Okay, but we gotta start wrapping this up.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah. Midnight's done waiting.
Look at this, look at this. Look, oh, look at that. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, 405, full house. I'm going to go ahead and cash in. So, Kingpin, you can either pay me in pesos, Deutschmarks, or wampum, okay?
I got some currency coming from Wuhan. I'll send to you.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Wu-Tang, is that?
Cash rules
Wu-Tang,
everything
Wu-Tang
around.
virus. Another dollar bill, y'all. All right, let's see. We're gonna bet this 5, and then we're gonna walk away. We're gonna walk away. Watch as Travis becomes a gambling addict. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Let's get real.
Oh, now this is straight trash. Look at this, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hold the 5, 8. Yep. There you go.
No, go for the flush.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't got the 2
Nah.
held. There you go.
All right, we're done. We're done.
Yeah.
We're good.
All right.
I'm happy. All right, I'll
So-
stop sharing now.
Let's start giving our plugs or extra word of wisdom or what have you. Mystic, aka Stacy, what you got to say before we go?
Oh, I didn't think I was here anymore.
No, you're still here.
Not according to, Kingpin over there. Not much. Thanks for having me. I had fun.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Stacy, when did you get here?
See, told you.
All right, Travis, anything you want to plug real quick?
Yeah, don't spend your family's money gambling. Go to Vegas because people give you money for free. A little shameless plug for Caliber Corner. It's a little podcast that we do Monday nights at 6 o'clock Central Time. Make sure you check it out.
You can quit. It just
I got it in there. Woohoo!
Yeah, we got cut off by the streaming service. So
Night Strike see me gambling and I didn't give any money or what?
I don't know what happened. There was the chamber just went kaput.
Oh, I thought it was YouTube maybe.
No, that was GunTube. The chamber just went.
That's what
Nah,
happens.
you got to start up another stream, man. I want to get my plugs in.
Oh yeah.
Anything. You just say goodbye.
What the hell? I didn't get to get my plugs in. Pricks.
I know, right? I didn't get to get my plugs.
Crazy.
Yeah, you want
I got the full house and I got my plugs in. I'm happy. I'm very happy.
He was on the show just as much as you were, Stacy.
Yeah, I think the
Less
chamber
so.
just crashed because it's not starting back up either.
Typical Night Strike quality.
I
It's
think
Travis.
I'm gonna. What's that?
It's Travis's fault for getting hooked on gambling.
Yep. Well, I mean, I crashed VidMe, so I can crash GunTube, I suppose, too. So I'm gonna play that.
All right, y'all.